All right, let's find this link and let's share it with everybody. Copy. All right, all right. Might be a bit of lag. I see Bubble here. Also, my brother, nice to see you. I'm just trying to get into the stream myself so I can see the chat. If I can see the chat, that should be awesome. As usual, YouTube takes forever. I don't know why. Don't ask me. Sorry, it took a bit of while for me to configure everything. Let me see. Hold on. Still can't see it. Give me a second. Let me try something else. I might have to log into another channel, one of my other accounts, to see if I can find the live. Oh, got it. Got you. I see Bubble here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Bubble, if you can, actually, no, I can actually. Give me a second. Copy. Okay, I didn't do any work with the what do you call this, the thumbnail or anything like this, totally because I can't be bothered. None of that really matters. So didn't do any of that stuff. Just shooting with it basically. So guys, if you're here for the first time, my name is Sham. I do all sorts of crazy stuff on YouTube, especially with crypto. Most of it is usually my personal opinions. It could be on anything. So you talk about something, you mention something, I'll talk about it. But normally it's my personal opinion. I'm not one of those guys who sits around with a long list of script or whatever and talks nonsense basically, or what Google says to me. Sorry, I don't do that. Most of the stuff that you're going to see on my channel are usually only my personal opinions, nothing more. So yeah, you know, you either like it or you don't. So it's one of those kind of thing, right? I don't really bother too much with I'm not sure what's going on, so I can't see the stream myself. I hope you can, and of course let me know if the audio and everything is good as well. Trying to figure it out. People are trying to call me, don't know what's going on. Let's see what happens. Sorry, I'm live now. I shouldn't be on the phone. Right, so that's not working. Let me try and see if I can find any other way of doing this. Wow, yeah, I see there's a massive lag. There's a massive lag. Let me see if I can hear the lag, because that is really bad. Not sure what's going on. It has been a while since I last updated the software, because I haven't done a live stream for some time. So I'm not sure if that's the case. Let me see how the audio comes up. Okay, the audio is working. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Bubble. Appreciate that. Right. Where's the man who wanted me on YouTube? He's not here yet, right? So basically, one of our members, KR, he's like the most active on Discord and this and that as well. He's always asking questions, always talking about a few videos and this and that. So I normally like try and answer all of his stuff anyway. So here we are. I know Bubble earlier on asked me a few questions. Bubble, I hope your problem is solved. As I mentioned earlier on as well, as long as you have your 12-digit private seed phrase, right? So this is your not your public address or anything like this. As long as you have your seed phrase, you are able to go to any wallet of your choice and reload that wallet and access those funds. Ideally, what you want is something that is closer to a legacy wallet, because those legacy wallets are much more useful for you. Because you see sometimes, like since like 2017, 2018, a lot of new changes has come on. So what's happened is some wallets are only using SegWit, some wallets are using the old legacy stuff, some wallets are doing Lightning now as well. In fact, there's one wallet I saw which is using 3 or 4 protocols, so separate networks basically. Also they can convert it back to Lightning as well, which is fascinating. So I do use that one. It's called Satoshi, sorry, the Samurai wallet, right? So there are some fascinating ones, but you want to stick to the legacy ones as much as possible if you are trying to recover some old BTC. So do that. And as I said, you can put your seed phrase in as many wallets as you want, whichever one works for you, doesn't matter. So a lot of the times people think there are geniuses out there who just recover it. That's because some wallets only allow you to view and other wallets will allow you to have full access. That's depending on which network they're using. If they're more towards the legacy side, then yeah, you'll have much more freedom of use. So remember that kind of helps as well. Now let me try and refresh chat. All right, okay, so still working around, see what happens. Right, the other thing, obviously my man KR wanted me to talk a little bit about was this gut feeling that I have, right? And there's this reason why I have the gut feeling. Of course, you can see the chart right behind me, and give me a second, I'm going to pull over the chart. I want to kind of just zoom into a few areas. So this is something I did last week or the week before. I was sitting down and just messing around with my charts basically, and I just kind of drew these little what do you want, a measuring tool, right? So I just got a measuring tool and I just started drawing. I said, right, what happens if we get to that 50% mark, right? And I'll show you what the 50% mark is, right? So, you know, I have these 50% marks on these cycles, right? I'm like, these are just rough estimates, right? And this is where we are currently. If you can see carefully, this is exactly where we are currently. So we're in this particular candle here, this last candle here. And if you look at this white line that I've highlighted here, that white line is what's important, right? So I'm looking at that, I'm like, hold on, coincidentally, I have this area here, which is my 29,946, and just here where you've got the measuring tool, right? So this is the measuring tool. You've got the measuring tool center pretty much aligns with this. So this is a good indication that we are pretty much in the middle of this particular measuring thing. It's weird. Listen, I don't do your typical stuff where people are going to talk about, you know, RSI, this, that, whatever, Gaussian channel, whatever. No, listen, none of those matters, right? When you're looking at those channels, those are printing whatever the available data is, right? So please do understand, when you have, you know, RSI, it's the current section of that RSI is the previous data, okay? There's nothing forecasting what's going to happen. It's only telling you what's already happened. So please understand, my style is quite unique because I always do what's about to happen, or I'm trying to forecast what could happen. Does that make sense, right? So I can't use a lot of your traditional stuff that people use, because that's just nonsense. Why would you want to tell me what's already happened? That's already happened. Market's going down. It's already happened. You're telling me a week later if you're using the weekly candle, or you're telling me a day later. I don't want to know about it. I want to know what is about to happen, or what the probabilities are of something happening. So based on that, when you look at this particular chart, it's the same chart, by the way, guys. I've had this chart with these lines and these numbers on the right here, like these 48,000, all of these numbers here. I've had them for almost 2 years now, if not even longer. So these are not your average basic stuff, right, when you're looking at it. So anyway, let's look at this measuring tool, right? So I've used just a simple the what do you call this, the measure tool, this measure tool here, right? So you can see this measure tool here. I'll just draw another one just to show you. So this is just a simple measure tool. Now in this measurement tool, you have a 50% mark, right? There's this area where there's 50%. So let me get rid of it. So there's this area where you've got that middle line, right? So you can see the arrows here. This is the middle line. This middle line coincides with the current local top that we had. So I thought, okay, what's the next area if we were to have that? So what I've done was I took that middle area, I put that as my bottom, as my next baseline, because what we're trying to do, and I'll show you something, right? We're going to show you on an empty space here. I'm going to draw something. So I'm just going to draw something. So what we're trying to establish here is, come on then. Yes. Sorry guys, I'm not sure what's going on here. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure what just happened there and why it happened. Let me try it on the top. Maybe it will work here. Yeah, maybe it doesn't like it because I'm doing stuff too far. Huh. Interesting. does it do 100%? Sorry guys, I have no idea what's going on here, so I can't draw what I wanted to draw. So yeah, screw that anyway. So who's that? I had bought cat coins, DC coins, and wild coins. Lots. Yes, I was bored. Not much though. Oh, and a bit of XRP. Also, my brother. Thank you very much. Listen, that's if you're picking your coins, then I recommend you stick to those coins. All right. Doesn't matter if it's a cat coin, if it's a DC coin, if it's a Marvel coin, if it's a Universal Studios coin, you name it. Whatever, doesn't matter. If Superman's coming and selling his coin, you buy it. But as long as that's the coin you picked, right? You pick your coin, you stick to your coin. Any winnings, you win that. Any sufferings, you suffer from that. Full stop, right? So that way you don't end up blaming anybody. So guys, I'm not sure why I'm not able to draw. I think I need to update my my browser. By the way, this browser hasn't been touched for us a long time. I haven't touched the browser. I haven't updated anything. So, but anyway, let me just show you this kind of a method, right? So I use the bottom, I use the top, then I find the middle point, and then I do it all over again. And then I find a middle point, and I do it all over again. And of course, this is just a rough estimate, right? But it kind of gives me a probability of what the highs would be next season, right? And I'm not talking about like 10 days from now or 20 days from now. I'm not talking about none of that business, right? This is a long period. This is a forecast, right? So by forecasting, it was saying, well, there's a pattern that we do over and over again with crypto, right? So if you look there's this kind of a little funny pattern that we play. Weird. Why are we here? Okay, right. So there's this weird pattern that we play with, right? Hence why I thought, like, okay, let me draw this and see where we go from there. So I got these numbers here, 293, and again, of course, they're super unrealistic numbers for some people, and for some people they're nothing, right? Some people are expecting BTC to go to $10 million a coin, probably, right? When US dollars goes to zeros, of course we're gonna have a $10 million coin. I don't see an issue with that, right? And of course, look at my chart. These are weekly charts, by the way, guys. So please do understand. Okay, I'm going to try and read these comments as well, which is coming from Moss. Bro, one thing I learned: never fall in love with your coin. Take profit and wait for cycle again. Exactly. This is exactly what I promote, right? You'll probably notice the last couple of videos I posted. It wasn't live videos, but last couple of videos I talked about Hex coin, and we had a lot of Hex fans and whatever you want to call them, right, come along, and there was some contradictions amongst themselves as well in the comments. You can go and read the comments. So one guy said, oh, Hex had to create a different blockchain because it had so and so problem. Another guy comes along and says Hex has no problems, I'm happy with it, right? But ultimately you see that everyone's trying to defend it. I'm like, guys, stop defending the coin or defending the project. You know, take it for what it is. I was in it. I made money, right? I promoted it. I talked good about it. I understand what the guy's trying to do. I understand everything. So for me, I've been in there. I've made my money. I took my profits. I got the hell out. Full stop, right? So what's there to, what's there to talk about? Even BTC, I'm super bullish on BTC. It's the only one that I actually ever talk about. The reason, now is a better reason than ever before. We have 1 million plus tokens on this planet. So why would I talk about 1 million coins who are trying to do the same thing, rob your money? All they're trying to do is take your money. So why would I talk about those coins, right? When we've got the one and only, right? The one and only one man army, whatever you want to call it, like crypto BTC standing and holding its own. Why would I talk about anything else for? Because everything else is just trying to do the same thing. They're trying to take that market share. All they're trying to do is take the market share. So yeah, just I hope like people understand that. Look, once you make your money, and even BTC, we're all in it to make the money. We make the money, we get the hell out. Full stop. Wait for the next cycle, do it all over again. And we did that here 2 years ago when the market started crashing. We exited BTC. We held. We waited for the bottom. The bottom came in. We started picking it back up again. Right? We talked about all of this stuff. So you can go and see the previous videos that we have, right, from like 1.5 years, 2 years ago when the bull market ended. You can see how we said we're out. And then how we re-entered again. So all of these things are there. All of these things are there. The evidence that we've mentioned all of these things are on the videos, right? On the YouTube channel itself, right? Where we've talked about get out, get in, all of those kind of methods that we've had. Because you are bullish. If you're bullish, you don't pick up the top and say, I'm bullish. Because then when it comes to the bottom, you're poor, you can't buy anything. No. When you're bullish, you let it go at the top and you pick it up at the bottom and you pick up the same thing again. That's you being bullish. Just by hodling it, it doesn't make you any bullish, right? So that's what it is. You stayed away from Hex coin. Good on you if you did, and even if you didn't, it doesn't matter. The whole point is, look, when there's a hype in any coin, right, we want to be in it, right, short term, we make a little bit of gain, we get the hell out, full stop, right? Then if we can leave some profits or whatever. So our initial needs to come out. Your goal as an investor, as a crypto hodler or whatever, always should be one thing. You enter with your initial investment, you take that out. So just for the sake of it, you say $100, $1,000, $10,000. You enter. The first goal for you, the first priority is to take your initial out. Any high volatile asset or any high volatile stocks, shares, whatever, the first thing you need to do is get your initial back, because that's the money, that's your float money. Think about it this way. This is the money you're going to re-spend, right, when the market's low, or if there's a dip or anything, or you want to diversify. That's the money you're going to be spending. So you don't want that money to be sitting around for too long. I know a lot of people, even myself, we say if you're investing in BTC, invest for at least 5 years, right? Think about it like a savings account. At the same time, I don't know what other people do, but I do personally say, if in the next 5 days BTC starts to pump, take your initial out. That's the float money. That's the funds that you're going to use next round, right? So you're in profit, you play with your profit, no problem. So this way it doesn't harm you, and then you use your money to buy more. So that's what it is. BTC is the end goal. That's what my brother says here, Moss says here. Listen, BTC is a goal, but ultimately you have to be realistic. It's not the end goal. There could easily be something far more superior, far more better than BTC. Right, there could be something far more better than BTC. Also, there are enough conspiracies out there, like who created BTC. And sometimes I even wonder, I'm like, who is this Satoshi Nakamoto, right? Because it's fascinating if you follow the story from the beginning, and if you try and look at all the narratives, right, and all the things, the coincidences that happened before this actually happened, you start to wonder. Like the ideology, right? So the idea of a digital currency started pretty much similar time when the first computers were created. So this is not a new subject. This is not something that was created new by someone. The idea was floating around for some time, right? So they had the digital gold, the digital dollar, whatever they call it, right? I forgot the names of all of those. They were already working on this stuff, right? And the work was going on from the 1960s. So you got to wonder, right? 1945, 1950, World War II ends, computers start coming out, right? We've got all these technological innovations going on, and people are already talking in universities, right? They're talking about how they want to create a digital currency system. That's when they were talking about it. So think about that, right? So, it could have been anybody. Doesn't matter. If it makes you money right now with low risk, that means you take your initial out, you're fine. That's the whole idea. You're fine, right? And there's plenty more coins coming out all the time. And we talked about our own one. I'm not going to shill my coin right now here, but there are going to be plenty of information coming on. I have already posted the version 1 of not the white paper, but it's like a rough paper. I call it the whatever. I think the freaking paper or whatever. Anyway, so this is like the first version. So I've sent it over to a handful of people to read through and review and let me know if there's any changes that I need to make. So I've had a few people come in. I've had a great friend come over, and he actually visited me, and he said there's a few things there that it sounds like you are talking, which is brilliant because that's how you talk. So it sounds like when you read it, I could hear you talk literally. I was like, okay, this is a good thing or a bad thing. This is a good thing, but when you're looking at a professional thing, it's not that great. I was like, fine, let's make it professional. So he's going to help me make that professional, so which is great, right? So that's that. So yeah, I mean, it's a matter of just getting those wording and papers and everything ready. Once they're all ready, we just publish it. I'm going to do like a Medium post or some Reddit post or something, just publish it. Because one thing, remember guys, the ultimate goal for this project is to give it for free. Talking about this, someone went on the comments and they were talking about how the liquidity works, and I want to explain this to you. I mean, I hope they're watching this video. If they do, then they can understand how liquidity works. They did get one end of the stick, they just didn't get the full stick, right? Let me explain this, right? I was being a little bit cryptic because I can't say certain things right now until they're finalized, until they're on a piece of paper which I can be held accountable for. I can't really say much, so I've got to be a little bit cryptic, right? So let me explain this to you by being cryptic. When I was talking about liquidity, yes, you're probably thinking about Uniswap liquidity. if you were part of my Discord membership, you would have known that on Discord I have mentioned there's two types of pools. One is your basic standard Uniswap liquidity pool, where you have a 50-50, right? You put one coin, you put another coin, people buy and sell. That's the valuation, of course. And these are the places where impermanent losses and everything come in. But what you didn't know is in the other side of the industry, we also have something called a liquidity generation event. And liquidity generation events, there's two types, right? So again, there's two types of liquidity generation events. One liquidity type generation event is when you publicly sell your token for a specific amount of funds, right? Whether it be 10 cents, a dollar, whatever a coin you want to sell for. That's a liquidity generation event. This is the type of stuff when you see like centralized exchanges doing launch, right? And they launch it for a few pennies and the thing just shoots up to a few dollars. That's what the liquidity generation events are. This kind of finds the market price on the day. Okay, so but the price has to be pre-configured, if that makes sense. So you have to have a minimum price before you do it. And this normally happens with projects with a lot of venture capital funding. So venture capital buys it for a penny, they sell it for 10 cents. So they just 10x their money, they exit, pass it on to the public and move on. Right, and those funds are quite liquid. Of course, the venture funds may not be liquid. That means they might have a vesting schedule for the next 6 months, 6 years, whatever, doesn't matter. So, you know, it could be anything. But ultimately, they have the opportunity to make money because no one's investing money, no one's supporting your project if they're not going to make any money, right? That's stupid. Right, so that's one side of things. The other side of liquidity generation event is the most, how would I say this, the most humble way of doing it. Imagine you can create value. So this product doesn't have any value. It's brand new. No one knows about it, right? You're not even talking to it. You're giving it away for free. So something for free has no value. Absolutely, right? So how do you generate value in something that is free? So the way we generate value in something that's free is we also have a liquidity generation event, but we have a public liquidity generation. So this is not to do with any predetermined price or anything. So we have a pool with say, how would you say this? Say 10 Ethereum. And we have another pool with say 1 million XYZ token, right? The 10 Ethereum, you know, imagine someone puts 20 Ethereum or 25 Ethereum, whatever, you know, the point is whatever the Ethereum is, that's what's going to be split amongst these coins, right? So when this happens, you end up having a valuation on the coin on chain because the chain actually shows that XYZ amount of Ethereum was used to purchase XYZ amount of this token. However, this is the humble part. Nobody's taking anything. That liquidity that's been provided in order to generate the valuation usually gets locked. All right, so they're locked. That funds doesn't move, so you can't access it. So publicly you can't access it. Privately nobody can access it. That funds is locked, right? And then it's released after a certain amount of time. That's a different way of doing a kind of a liquidity launch, right? So you launch it, you have the price valuation, which is set by the liquidity providers, but the liquidity providers do not take any money for it, any profit for it, nothing. There's, you know, this is how it works. It's the most humble way of doing it, where you launch a token because you support it and you create value from thin air, literally. And this is how all coins should work, right? You create the value if the project is trusted enough and supported enough. So that's how you do it. So we have a whole bunch of people who are very interested, and this is what we're going to be doing, right? So we're going to be generating value that way, and then we're going to be locking that liquidity, which means it's not accessible. You can't have impermanent loss because you can't access it, you can't do certain things with it. And once the lock is done, then after the vesting schedule, the original funding that was given, so if someone gave say 5 Ethereum, they will receive their 5 Ethereum back. That's all it is, right? Because once the market starts moving and the momentum starts kicking in, then we don't need that anymore. So a lot of people think they're real experts in how this thing works. Believe me, I've launched 3 blockchains already. Sorry, not blockchain, 3 tokens already. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been there, I've done it. I've done loads of different testings and loads of different things. Of course, publicly, I've never launched any of these tokens, right? Because I've never had an intention to launch anything and take anybody's money. That's the whole thing. And of course, we have had other methods. Yes, we've talked about how to sell. We've talked about how to do it with NFTs, staking, rewards, you name it, all sorts of other stuff. We've talked about it. But the intent was never to take the money and, you know, for your own benefit or your own pocket, go and buy some Lambos or some Ferraris. It wasn't the case. That was never the case, right? So it was always about how do we protect our users. So this is how we come along, and this is how we've done it now. So The idea is we're going to be giving away a significant percentage for free, right? In fact, all of it is technically all of the coins. We're going to have 21 million coins. It's all going to be for free. Every one of those coins I'm going to give away for free, so people can go and claim those from a claim web page or whatever. We're creating something for it, so you can go and claim your coins, and the more the merrier, right? The entire globe can actually have this, and because we've already provided the liquidity generation, there's a value. So now if it's $1, $2, whatever per coin, you can actually sell those for $1, $2 if you want. So think about that. We are giving the value to the network, so you can go and sell and make money from your free coins. Again, do not speculate. Do not do none of this business, because this we do not want any speculation or anything like this. There is no what would you call this? There should be no interest of you making any profit or anything. That's the reason why we're giving this for free. And for us, our coin is only worth whatever our coin is, right? One coin is worth one coin, full stop. There's no monetary value to it. There's no fiat value to it. What you do outside is none of my business. So that's that. I don't want to talk too much about that. Now, let's move back to what this video started. And the question is where is KR when he's the one who wanted me on the video, right? Surprising. Where is he? Sorry, I'm just trying to see where this guy is. I've had a few missed calls. Now, I'm not sure who these people are. First of all, if someone's on a live, you don't do a missed call, guys. You do not do a missed call, or you don't call someone when they're on a live, right? Sad, but yeah, you don't call someone when someone's on a live. Let me check. So anyway, we were talking about what were we talking about? So I had a gut feeling, right? So I said, look, I've got this gut feeling, and of course the gut feeling is not just a gut feeling. It's not something that you just come along and say, well, I've got a gut feeling BTC is going to the moon. No, that's not the reality. The reality is, look, when you look at the market structure, let me move my head. Give me a second. Let me move my head a little bit, right? So when you look at this market structure, when you're seeing this entire market structure, right? Right, let me bring it back again. I'll bring the camera again anyway. But when you're looking at this entire market structure, let me just put this here for a second. There you go. Right, or lower, a little bit lower here. So yeah, there you go. So when you're putting this, when you're looking at this market structure, and you see this thing, right? You see how we've done this particular M, right? And I don't know why I can't draw on this. Okay, something's not right, guys. I'm not sure why I'm not able to draw, but let me try and see if I can do it this way. Yeah, something's not right here. Not sure what's going on, guys. I'll fix it up later. But anyway, something's bugging out here. But like, you know, when you look at this top here, right? When you're looking at this top here, actually, I've got another idea. Give me a second, guys. I think this might work. Actually, this might work. Let me try and see if I can get this. Yeah, this might work. This might just work. I'm hoping it does. Because I'm trying to show you my... Yeah, this might just work, actually. Yeah, I think this might work. Kind of, not entirely. This stupid thing. It's still not showing my entire screen. I don't know what's going on. Listen, I haven't updated this for a long time, but just wanted to show you this, right? So this area here, so when we're looking at this area here, right, that's what I'm talking about. So we have this particular structure, the M pattern that we broke through. We came here, and then now we're building this W pattern here, right? And I want to kill this machine. I don't know why it's not doing it. Okay, it just doesn't want to work. Stupid, get out of my face. Right, so we're creating this W pattern, and if you look carefully, we've come here. This is the bottom, this is the top. We might actually have one more down, so we might actually come down and test it down here before we do a big move. So we need this W, massive W pattern on the weekly for this to happen, and I think this is going to happen, right? You know, it looks like it's not, but I think it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. When it does, it's going to happen very fast. So just keep an eye out for it. When it does happen, it should be very, very interesting. You know, that's what I can say. It's going to be very interesting when it does happen. And yeah, so I have a gut feeling we're going to try and test, at least try and test the 37k. I told a few people the other day as well that 37k is actually a very important number for us. We have to kind of test it. If we did, then things are going to be better for us. But yeah, other than that, guys, do you have any questions, anything you want me to talk about? Trading view's not working. I don't know what's going on. I think I need to update the software or update the browser or whatever. Clear the cache. I'm not sure what's going on. That's definitely something I would probably have to do. No joke, I can't even so I can't even view the chat. That's how bad it is. I'm not sure what's going on anyway. I'm not even connected to the Wi-Fi, so because I've got this connected to the Wi-Fi, that's, I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I can't see the chat. I can't see the chat. Crazy. All right, let's try this. Finally. Okay, I've got the chat now. Yeah, so okay, chat's back. So if you have any questions or anything you want me to talk about, guys, bring it on. But I'm just saying, look, my whole the way technique, right? Let's just talk about a little bit of the technique, right? A lot of people sit there and they're giving you these news with the charts and everything. You've probably noticed this, right? Sometimes I'll talk about charts, I'll talk about a signal, or well, I wouldn't call it a signal, but I'll talk about something, and most of those are to do with months, weeks, ahead in time, right? The months, weeks ahead in time. Yeah. So when I'm trying to talk about something, there will be weeks and weeks, months and months ahead in time, solely because of how I see the market. Because I'm not looking at what's going to happen today. Because if I think that, for example, if I think we're going to go back to the previous high of $68,000, I don't want to talk about it when I'm gone there. I want to talk about it when I'm here at these bottom levels here. This pre-30k level, if we talk about it at this pre-30k level, you have a chance of making profit up to the 68k. Does that make sense to you? So I won't talk to you, oh look guys, we just hit 69k today. Well, how did that help me as a viewer? How did that help me as a supporter? How did that help me as a fan? If any influencer comes along, right, any YouTube influencer comes along and tells you when we hit that 69k, when we hit that 70k, right, how did it help the viewer? Did you tell the viewer that that's what's probably going to happen? So this is why the way I look at things is completely different. I'm not going to put something on yesterday's candle. I'm not going to put something on last week's candle, for example, right? We want to talk about what's happening tomorrow, what the probabilities are. And currently, if you look at the structure right behind me right now on the chart, you can see that, yeah, it looks freaking brilliant, right? Where we are right now, the colors, everything looks brilliant. It's all telling me one thing, that the market's getting ready. And when it does, we might actually see a little parabola, which should be interesting. So if you do get a parabola, don't be surprised. It was expected, right? And I've been telling everybody since the $20,000 mark. So look, anything under $20,000 mark, just buy. And one of the members mentioned about Gaussian channel flipping green. Yeah, it would flip green, but that's based on depends on what numbers they're using. So some people use Gaussian channel on weekly. Other people would use it over a 2 week. So there's 2 weeks candles on a Gaussian, or you do a week candle on a Gaussian. So it depends on which one they're using. I would recommend the 104 2 week. Yeah, I would use that. That usually works better because it's a little bit more accurate. Because sometimes you have to find that that little data in between. Some people, what they do, they would use a 2-day candle, 3-day candle, 4-day to connect the dots. But to simplify things, I usually do day, week, month, and just leave it there. And then same chart. I don't change the charts, because the moment you do start changing the charts, now you're trying to make the chart work for you, right? You don't need the chart to work for you. You just need the chart to just push the data out, and you find what you need on the chart. And usually, if you don't change the chart, you'd see that the same chart works for you. So this chart works for me like a superstar. Never caused me any issues. So yeah, I'm looking for any questions. If there is any questions, I'll happily answer them. If there's not, then I won't make this video any longer. I am kind of tired. Been a long day. So yeah, Sham, the person who wanted me to do a live didn't arrive. So yeah, that's the one of the things, and this is one of the reasons why I don't do lives. I prefer to just do drive time videos, like when I'm on my way or something. Because first of all, I haven't got time, and second of all, I'll get the views, but I'll get the views coming in later. So the whole enjoyment of doing live, it's just not there. I mean, of course, some people said to me, if you did it all the time, like Richard Hart or the Hexcoin family, right? Sit there for 4 hours, yeah, you get loads of views. Yeah, I'll get loads of views, but don't want those, because I'm not trying to sit here for 4 hours and sell something and then go around and pay for news articles and whatnot. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. This is who I am. This is what you get. My time is when I do stuff. You want something, I'll do it. That's not a problem. But if you're not going to appreciate it, then it's not going to happen. I'm just going to do it in my car, full stop, right? And you've got to live with all the sound of me driving and all of that. So other than that, I'm not getting any other questions. I'm not going to make this video any longer. I'll catch you guys on another one very soon. Adios, my amigos.